Death Note. One of my favorite mangas and animes ever. Unlike Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece, and so on, Death Note isn't based around combat. Instead, Death Note prioritizes the strength of the brain. Rather than being packed full of high-octane combat scenes, it focuses on intense situations that requires critical thinking to escape said situations. Death Note really uses that focus on placing its characters in impossible situations, and it executes it perfectly. Another thing it executes perfectly is the subject at hand today, with that being the quote bond between L and Light. Now, it's obviously not a bond like Riku and Sora's bond from Kingdom Hearts, but it's a bond that is similar to that of Batman and Joker's bond. They're two sides to the same coin: complete order and complete chaos. L, like Batman, is highly intelligent and has endless resources to track down his adversaries. And Light, like Joker, is also highly intelligent and is beyond capable of escaping almost any situation that L puts him in. However, this comparison can be flipped at times, with L being like Joker and Light being like Batman. It's commonly said that the both of them are equals, and while I'll always be on the side of L, I have to admit, since Light ends up setting up the death of L, Light would appear to be the superior one between the two of them. However, Light wasn't always the superior one. He was forced to adapt due to the pressure that L and his task force was putting on him. That pressure would awaken a fire within Light. For years, Light was bored of his mundane life. He was ahead of everyone at school, and he had nothing interesting going on in his life. That was until he became Kira and met L. And same goes for L. L was probably bored of catching criminals that never provided a challenge. So when Kira came about, L saw this as more than just another criminal. He saw this as a real challenge, a real opportunity to go against someone who's on the same level as him. Eventually, L and Light actually meet, and this is where the real bond begins. Their obsessions for each other would become rather apparent upon meeting. And while yes, it's due to L's suspicion and Light's concern of being found out, but it's also due to the fact that they both see a worthy competitor in each other, a true equal and challenger, as well as both of them seeing the similarities between the two of them, so much so that L would go on to say that he views Light as his first real friend. This could just be chalked up to being a tactic from L, but I genuinely believe that L sees Light as a friend, especially after spending so much time together. But for Light, that's where it gets confusing. Part of Light probably does view L as a friend, and that same part views him as a worthy competitor in their game of wits. But the other part of Light, the Kira side, sees L as a problem, a roadblock on his path to becoming the world's new god. However, Light still very much enjoys the game and the challenge that L brings, and same goes for L. L enjoys this back and forth / cat and mouse game between them. L would even go on to tell Light that in case of L's death, Light might be the one to succeed him, as L truly believes they're on par with each other, and the show does a great job at showing you they more or less are. Then you have the later half of the show in manga, with Nier, where Light constantly degrades Nier. Light refuses to accept Nier as L's successor and is unable to hold him to that same standard. This shows us that even though Light wanted to kill L and saw him as a roadblock, he still very much valued their time and experiences together. He knows that L was a true genius, and he refuses to let anyone be compared to him. Now, I know I titled this video The Bonds Between L and Light, but the quotation marks are there for a reason. It's obviously not a true bond. A bond of friendship, love, and care is something they couldn't have with each other. Instead, their bond is one of hate, obsession, and death, as both individuals would succumb to death due to this obsessive crusade of stopping Kira and being Kira. Both sides were blinded by their hatred for each other. However, L was less blinded by his hatred and more so blinded by his obsession of stopping Kira, but it was that blindness that would result in his death. As for Light, he was beyond blinded by both hate and obsession. He saw only through tunnel vision, with his sights being set on becoming the god of the new world. and both of his blinders would cause him to walk into a trap, which results in Light's failure of becoming the new world's god. As I said before, this manga and anime is truly one of my favorites of all time. It's so unique and has beautiful artwork as well as amazing writing. Then you have all the voice actors and voice actresses who did an incredible job. They helped bring so much more life into this already lived in universe. But that about wraps up this video. If y'all want more videos like this, or more videos on Death Note in general, let me know down below. With all that said, it's been ugly, and I'll see y'all in the next one.